In this video, we'll be creating our home page. So now that we've created all of our required template WordPress files, we're ready to start creating our custom template from our prototype. And I want to start with the home page, and so we want to put all of our template code into one of those standard WordPress files. And we talked about, when we mentioned individual WordPress template files, that the default file that WordPress looks to show as a home page is called home.php. And by its file name, it seems like the perfect choice for a home page because it's called home.php, but its default behavior is to show a list of the recent posts, which is why WordPress's default behavior is just to show a front page with a feed of your recent posts. So we don't want to change that default behavior. We actually have a different file template we can use to get what kind of behavior we want, and that's called front-page.php. And this is what WordPress looks for if it can't find home.php, or if your site settings are set to show a static homepage. So we're going to go ahead and create that file. So I'm going to call it front-page.php. And in here, I'm going to call in the header and footer. So I'm going to say PHP. I'm also going to add a comment here just so we can say it's our front page template. And then I'm going to say get the header. And then go ahead and call in that footer as well. And then in between our header and our footer, we want to add our main content. So I'm going to go ahead and open our homepage prototype. So it's just index.html and that glass eye prototype. And then we want to copy everything from right above that opening footer tag to right after our closing header tag. So all of that main content, I'm going to hit Control-C to select that. And then we're just going to paste it right in here. I'm going to hit Control-S to save. And then let's just take a look and see what we have so far. So I'm going to open up my site in the browser. And I've just gone to the themes page, and you can see we still have 2016 active. So I'm going to come over to activate our custom theme. And then we're going to come up here and just look at the front end of our site. And so you see it looks maybe a little bit scary here. We have some errors, and this definitely doesn't look like our home page, but it's just giving us a notice because we have that debugging information turned on that we're calling in the header file and it can't find the template it's looking for, that template partial, which is called header.php. And if we scroll to the bottom, we can see the same thing. It's looking for footer.php because we don't have those files, which is what we expect because they're not in there and it can't find it. But the other thing that's going on is, first of all, we don't have our images in our themes folder yet, and some of these links are going to be broken since we changed where our content is. So I'm going to go back into brackets, and the first thing I want to do is I want to update the file paths to our images in our HTML. So I'm going to come in here, and we just have 3 different featured instructor images, and we can use a special function to actually get the file path to our template directory. So right inside of the image source, we're going to add some PHP, so we need those PHP tags. So I'm going to say PHP. And I have an extra H, so I'm going to delete that. And then that function is called blog info, and so we can use this to call in specific blog info. So we're going to pass it an argument. So inside the parentheses, we're going to pass it a string. And we have all kinds of different set things that we can pass this. We can get things like the style sheet URL, the URL of the actual website, is it set in our general settings. We can get our site tagline, the name, all kinds of different things. But we want our template URL, so that's just template_URL. And it's going to automatically echo out that information into our HTML for us. But we also want to add our / in here so it knows to look in an images directory. And then we're just going to copy this whole thing we just typed out and then just paste it where we have our other image path. So I'm going to hit Control V to paste and right in here and press Control S to save. And we want to come to our CSS and just make sure that this is going to be okay as well. And since our style sheet, this style sheet is in our root directory, it's not going to break any paths, but if we were working with a style sheet in a styles directory, we would want to go ahead and update this path. But since it's not broken, we'll go ahead and leave this alone. And now I just want to come in and paste the images into our theme folder. So I'm just going to come into my prototype and I'm going to copy this images folder. So I'm going to say copy our images. And then I'm going to come back into our theme folder, Glass-Eye Creative, and I'm just going to paste this right in here. And then we can go back over to our WordPress site. And now we should be able to refresh, and this should look a little bit better. So I'm going to hit Control R, which if you don't see it once, I'm going to hit Control Shift R to do a hard refresh, which means it'll clear its cache. And now you can see we have our background images pulling in. Very, very nice. And if we scroll down here, now we have our instructor images pulling in as well. So awesome. Overall, our homepage is looking really, really good, just like our prototype. So in our next video, we're going to go ahead and create our template partials for our header and our footer.